I paid $120,000 for someone to tell me to go read Jane Austen, and then I didn't.
No work was done there. There's no single guys left in Manhattan. And I'm like, I know someone who's new in town. What are 3 other things about him?
Which of the painted peacocks is our Mr. Bingley?
Hey, look at that man.
And the person with the quizzical brow? It's miserable, poor soul.
Whoa, that tall child looks terrible.
She's watching me walk, kind of scanning me up and down, as if she had Terminator vision, where she could see little bits of data, like, brrr, little honky ass.
And may I introduce Mr. Darcy?
No one look at me or I'll kill myself. And on the far side of the ballroom, under a spotlight, it was him. But he was surrounded by reporters and photographers and Secret Service. So what are you gonna do? Well, if you're my mom, you ball up the back of my sport coat and you push me forward like a human shield. And then you start jogging while yelling,
Becky, this is splendid dancer, is she not? Will you dance, Mr. Darcy?
like, nah, sister. You're not getting me to no secondary location.
But her sister Elizabeth is very agreeable.
Perfectly tolerable, I dare say. Not handsome enough to tempt me.
Okay, c'est la vie. Fucking what?
Dancing. Even if one's partner is barely tolerable.
Do not fuck with me.
Certainly not. She'll go on horseback.
You want me to do what?
Horseback?
Okay, you could pour soup in my lap and I'll probably apologize to you.
Now she'll have to stay the night, exactly as I predicted.
Good grief.
Incredibly well coordinated.
Good Lord, Miss Elizabeth.
Hooray! You are brave! When I walk down the street, I need everybody all day long to like me so much. Here's my plan. You and me get very dressed up, including hats, and then we wave handkerchiefs at it till it disappears over the horizon.
I am a proud...
I'm no longer surprised at your knowing only 6 accomplished women. I rather want to know you're knowing any.
Pointing this out to him confuses and upsets him.
It would certainly be a fearsome thing to behold.
That's my wife.
What a shame, for I dearly love to laugh.
A family trait, I think.
Then we were like, we know, but hey.
Mr. Bingley, is it true that you have promised to hold a ball here at Netherfield?
A ball?
Ah. Oh, wow, that's a really good idea.
When your sister is recovered, you shall name the day.
Mary brought up a new, separate but interesting point, which was...
I think a ball is a perfectly irrational way to gain new acquaintance.
We don't have time to unpack all of that. Hi, knock, knock, sorry. That's how I walk into rooms.
What a superbly featured room, and what excellent boiled potatoes. Many years since I've had such an exemplary vegetable.
I think about that every goddamn day.
It's wrong to make fun of people, you know, but it's so fun sometimes.
These are the kind of little delicate compliments which are always acceptable to the ladies, and which I conceive myself particularly bound to pay.
Oh, believe me, no one would suspect your manners to be rehearsed.
Now I've thrown him off his rhythm.
The eldest Miss Bennet is very soon to be engaged.
Engaged?
But
Excuse me, I'm new in town, and it gets worse.
It's like, Jesus Christ, what were you two in the Eagles together? What is the animosity about?
But Darcy ignored his wishes and gave the living to another man.
But why?
And I said,
Jealousy.
you know, like a liar.
They tricked me. They tricked me. Oh, shit, I gotta wear all those layers. We gotta think of some weird, slow activities to fill the day. And they did.
To remain close to you throughout the evening.
Why do you do this?
May I have the next dance, Miss Elizabeth?
We're so excited to see you two.
Perhaps
by and by, I may observe that private balls are much pleasanter than public ones.
Ed, are you going to talk the entire time?
I might solicit a private audience with Miss Elizabeth in the course of the morning.
Fell deadly silent is what they all did.
Certainly. Lizzie will be very happy indeed.
No.
No! 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 All right, proceed.
Jane, don't. Jane.
Oh, forget about that poor son of a bitch. Anyway, none of us really know our fathers. Anyway.
That it is at the urging of my esteemed patroness, Lady Catherine, that I select a wife.
Oh, that's what I thought you'd say, you dumb fucking horse.
Mr. Collins.
So I must conclude that you simply seek to increase my love by suspense.
Mr. Collins has proposed to Lizzie, but she vows she will not have him.
Doesn't anyone want to know why? Sometimes people would say, what do you think you're doing? But that just meant stop.
Your mother will never see you again if you do not marry Mr. Collins, and I will never see you again if you do.
The other shoe just dropped.
How is this shiny and dumb and easy to trick?
Is that not clear enough?
Mr. Collins and I are engaged.
No!
Strange, the passage of time.
Like old money.
And we were just eating Triscuits in silence, and I was staring at the floor, and I was like, well, here goes nothing.
But I think it would be very hard on younger sisters not to have their share of amusement because the elder is still unmarried. It would hardly encourage sisterly affection.
And I don't care for that shit at all.
I do not have the talent of conversing easily with people I have never met.
You're gonna have to get used to that. Like, I'll keep all my emotions right here, and then one day I'll die. It was such a weird interaction that I wasn't sure if it actually happened.
Bread of God is bread.
There were apparently strong objections to the lady. I think it was a family that was considered unsuitable.
Jesus Christ.
It had been raining. Everything I'm about to say to you was said in front of me on that afternoon.
Miss Elizabeth, I have struggled in vain and I can bear it no longer. I had to see. I love you. Please do me the honor of accepting my hand.
First off, no. I was offended as a lady who was getting pushed around by this chauvinist ass.
Ever walking through the park with your betrothed and it starts to rain, but you still want to hold hands? Well, may I introduce you to, and my condolences again to everyone, the gazebo! I try to stay a little optimistic, even though I will admit, things are getting pretty sticky.
Lydia's been invited to go to Brighton with the Forsters.
And my mom said, yes. Then my dad said, let's change the subject!
But I have had a very long day, and I have no money. So you can imagine the kind of stress that I am under.
What are men compared to rocks and mountains?
No, that's the thing I'm sensitive about!
Like, hey, where's
Mr. Darcy?
And the zoo guy is like, oh, he must be in the inside part. The inside part? Tell him we're here.
This is the height of luxury!
And I was like, oh, okay. I'm not gonna do it, but I totally get it.
Scatter!
You don't mind delaying our journey another day, do you?
He particularly wants you to meet his sister.
I didn't know he knew how to do that. Think about that for 2 minutes and tell me you don't want to walk into the ocean.
Lydia has run away. With Mr. Wickham.
A very upsetting thing to hear, yes?
Lydia married.
My mom was like, hell yes.
And then they said, how did they phrase it? Then they said, give us some money! As a gift! We want a gift! But only if it's money!
Can I come and stay with you?
Not unless everyone gets real cool about a bunch of stuff really quickly.
And now you have the audacity to ask me for more money? What kind of a cokehead relative? You spent it already! I gave you more money than the Civil War cost, and you fucking spent it already!
Mr. Darcy. Oh, I forgot.
I said say more right now!
Mr. Darcy was at your wedding.
He was the one that discovered us. He paid for the wedding. Wickham's commission. everything.
I like to lean in and go, "Stop snitching, motherfucker," and then walk on.
We all ran in different directions. It was like that scene in Ratatouille when the humans come in the kitchen and all the rats go in different ways. We all ran in different directions.
Have a nice day, and also you having one.
I must tell you I've been the most unmitigated and comprehensive ass.
Like, yeah, you got it, man. You're like, everyone get out of my way.
Has it not been industriously circulated by yourself?
I have never heard of it. What you're talking about, you idiot.
Get your sleeping bag and get out of my house! Take your EpiPen, take your goddamn EpiPen, and get out of my house! I'll just go to bed in a smock. Why don't you give me a candle for looking in the mirror? And I'll tremble off to bed in my long Victorian nightgown. Yeah.
I love you. I never wish to be parted from you from this day on.
Fine, you know?